Things are happening all over the globe that simply cannot be explained. Frightening creatures get caught on camera, strange objects appear in the sky, and creepy incidents make a grown adult tremble like a child. So get ready. Right now, we are going to break down the most unexplainable events that are happening literally right now, and that, in theory, no one at all should have been able to see. In one shocking video from Texas, people looked up at the sky and were literally struck speechless. High above them, something strange was happening. In the sky, a spectacle was unfolding that looked like an alien invasion. Many decided that this was the end of the world. People panicked. Emergency services were flooded with calls. But wait, let us not rush to be afraid. Later, it turned out that there was nothing supernatural at all. It was a Falcon 9 rocket firing its engines to adjust its course. When sunlight hit the gases in the upper layers of the atmosphere, a real light show flared up in the sky. In Norilsk, Russia, a married couple looked out of the window of their house and accidentally caught something very strange on camera. In the distance, on the territory of a factory, they noticed a figure that looked like a human. This figure was glowing so brightly that it seemed to be made of pure fire or plasma. When the couple zoomed in to get a better look at this creature, they were literally stunned. The strange person was moving as if it were absolutely normal for them to stroll around a factory and shine like a spotlight. The possessed doll. That is what it was called on a popular morning show. A married couple came on air and brought a doll with them, claiming that it was possessed. I would not say that it is straight 100% possessed, but there is definitely something wrong with it, the husband carefully explained. He told how he was calmly taking a shower one day and suddenly felt a strong burning sensation on his leg. He looked down, and there were a bunch of scratches. While the couple were sharing their story, the doll was just sitting on a chair in the studio. And then, without any explanation at all, it began to rock back and forth, as if something invisible was pushing it. The wife turned pale and could not even bring herself to look in the direction of the doll. "Deb, you do not even want to look at it?" "No, I am scared. I do not even want to touch it." In November 1987 in Chicago, something happened on air that viewers still remember to this day. A strange person in a max headroom mask suddenly appeared on the screen. The broadcast was literally hijacked. Viewers were forced to watch a creepy mess of distorted sounds and weird, unnerving movements from the unknown figure. This strange session lasted almost 2 minutes, but imprinted itself in people's memories for decades. To this day, nobody knows who was behind this stunt or why they did it. Next comes something that will probably make your eye twitch with disbelief. A video appeared online that thousands of users called a glitch in the Matrix. At first glance, everything looks normal. A person walks through a turnstile. But if you look closely, you notice a detail that makes your brain refuse to believe your eyes. The metal bar of the turnstile seems to pass right through the person's leg, as if they were transparent. Some viewers are sure that there is a simple explanation here: the angle, the quality of the video, dropped frames. But personally, I prefer to believe that sometimes reality itself glitches. It is even kind of nice to be slightly in an illusion now and then, right? On the 4th of June 2024, residents of Tehran, Iran, saw something in the sky that gave goosebumps even to skeptics. Different people from different parts of the city started filming the same thing: a huge round object with green lights slowly gliding through the night sky. The UFO was visible from afar, and dozens of eyewitnesses uploaded their clips. When the footage matched up, many decided this is real proof of the presence of aliens on Earth. This fragment is both strange and very funny at the same time. A home security camera recorded a stray cat who, in the middle of the night, alone, seems to be dancing in front of a house. The internet exploded. The video went viral on social media. But of course, this is the work of neural networks, because a single cat simply cannot move like that. Yet this does not make the video any less hilarious. August 2021. A regular television broadcast. And suddenly the air is sharply interrupted by a strange fragment. On the screen appears a scene that looks very much like a satanic ritual. In the frame, there are people in a gloomy setting, an incomprehensible ceremony, and a feeling that you have become a witness to something that was not meant for outsiders at all. The creepiest part is that there are clearly cameras inside the room where this is happening. That means someone deliberately filmed and transmitted this bizarre moment. In one clip, a child is quietly playing in a room when a strange ball of light suddenly flies into the space. It darts around the room, making odd crackling sounds like a tiny lightning bolt bouncing off the air. Some believe that this is a rare natural phenomenon, ball lightning. Others are sure that the movements of the ball are too intentional, as if it is choosing its own path. People online even wrote that it might be a fairy or some kind of spirit. Whether that is true or not remains a mystery, but the footage looks as if the element itself decided to peek into the house. I have two humps, but one of them looks underdeveloped. It is a camel without a head. That is roughly how you could describe what people on safari saw. In the video, it looks as if a camel is walking across the desert with no head at all. The couple filming the event were shocked and tried to figure out how such a thing was even possible. But as soon as the camel takes a few steps and turns, all the magic disappears. The head is right where it should be. It was just hidden by the angle and the position of the body. Sometimes the craziest things are nothing but camera tricks and perspective. Do not worry, in this video, no camel had to grow a new head. She is glitching like in a video game. That is exactly how people reacted when they saw this video. On one of the streets of London, a woman was standing as if someone had hit the pause button. She froze in place, completely motionless. No movement, no reaction. A moment later, she started walking again as if nothing had happened, like everything was perfectly normal. For her, apparently, there was no freeze at all. When a plane takes off, we expect to see it rushing through the sky. But in these videos, we get a completely different picture. Two planes seem to be hanging in the air, like in a paused frame. They do not fall, they do not fly, they just stay still in the sky. Most often, this is explained by a strong headwind and the angle of view. The plane is moving, but relative to the person filming it, appears stationary. However, viewers really want to believe something else, that sometimes there truly are glitches in our reality. In a small village in the state of Kerala, India, the locals were frightened by a strange object, an ordinary-looking ladder. In the video, you can see the ladder seemingly walking on its own. Nobody is touching it. There are no people around. And yet it slowly moves along the ground as if it has a will of its own. Superstitious residents immediately decided that the ladder was cursed or possessed. After that, more videos of living ladders started to appear. But in reality, it was much simpler. The light ladder was being pushed by the wind and pressure differences. Sometimes the explanation is ridiculously simple, even if what you see on the screen looks like pure mysticism. Imagine you look up at the sky, and instead of one sun, there are 7. That is exactly what a woman named Wan filmed in the city of Chengdu, China. In the video, you can see 7 bright glowing spots lined up in the sky, looking like copies of the sun shining in a row. The footage looks like it was cut out of a science fiction movie. People could not understand what was going on. A parallel reality? A space experiment? Later, it was explained very simply. It was an optical illusion. Light passed through several layers of glass in a hospital window and reflected in such a way that one sun turned into several on camera. But you have to admit, for a second, it is nice to imagine that it was real. In 2020, a scene worthy of a horror movie unfolded near one man's house. In a fenced-off area stood hundreds of sheep, and all of them were absolutely motionless. It seemed as if time itself had stopped for them. He is just standing there, menacing, the author of the video recalls. Some people explained it like this: the animals heard a predator and froze so as not to give themselves away. Others insisted that this was yet another glitch in the matrix. Whatever the case, seeing something like that with your own eyes would be very unsettling. First, just picture this image in your mind. A strange glow in the clouds, a column of smoke, and suddenly, something striking straight into a massive cloud, making it literally burst apart. In the video, people first think that the main thing is the unusual glowing cloud. Then it seems that it is the mysterious smoke rising from the ground. But the real mystery is the bright glowing sphere that strikes right into the giant cloud, and after that, the cloud seems to explode and crumble downward. A plane passenger was filming the view from the window and suddenly noticed a dark shadow in the distance. At first, he thought that it might be another plane or some object in the sky. But as it got closer, the figure became clearer and started to look suspiciously human. In the video, you can see something very similar to a human silhouette flying at the same altitude as the plane. At some point, the figure seems to turn toward the camera, as if noticing that it is being filmed, and then suddenly darts away. Oh my God, what is that? That is how people, judging by the recording, were reacting. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to go outside at night and see two moons at once? In 2021, residents of Dubai witnessed exactly this scene. In the sky hung two bright bodies that looked like two moons side by side. People filmed videos, took photos, and came up with the boldest theories, from portals to alien interference. But soon the truth came out. It was a massive PR stunt by the UAE government in honor of a Mars mission. They projected images of Mars moons, Phobos, and Deimos into the sky. Still, everyone got to feel, at least for a moment, like inhabitants of a fantastic world with several moons overhead. In 2022, near the city of Patras in Greece, a living painting worthy of Alfred Hitchcock unfolded in the sky. Thousands of starlings gathered into a huge flock and began to fly as if guided by an invisible hand. The flock would compress into a dense sphere, then expand, then change shape like a giant living cloudy ball. It seems like there must be a leader, but in reality, each starling simply orients itself by its neighbors, adjusting its speed and direction. Watching this is like watching the sky breathe, creepy and beautiful at the same time. Have you ever heard the expression cloud ground? That is the most well-known type of lightning, when a powerful electric discharge goes from cloud to the surface of the earth or vice versa. It sounds dry and scientific, but that is exactly what happens in one of the videos. A huge electric discharge literally connects the sky and the ground, accompanied by a blinding flash and a powerful thunderclap. In words, it is physics. On video, it is as if the heavens are trying to reach down to us with a hand. Imagine the 1980s, and someone suddenly pulls out an iPhone 13. What would people think? A mirror? A toy? Magic? Recently, a viral clip appeared online in which a man in Hiroshima holds in his hands a device that looks very much like an iPhone 13. He looks into it the way we look into our smartphones now. The internet exploded. Theories about time travel, parallel worlds, and hidden technologies filled the comments. But later fact-checkers uncovered the truth. This fragment is from a Japanese series called The Woman Who Knew Too Much, filmed in 2023. No time travelers, just a lucky shot that played perfectly on social media. Now let us move on to animals that behave so strangely that it looks as if they are taking part in some kind of ritual. First, China, Inner Mongolia. A camera records dozens of sheep walking in a perfect circle. They walk and walk and walk and do not stop. This went on for 12 days in a row. People called it a creepy ritual and tried to understand what was going on. The next shot is already in Russia. A drone rises above the tundra, and we see a herd of reindeer also moving in a circle. From above, it looks mesmerizing, but also a little scary, as if someone invisible is setting their trajectory. In the English town of Southend-on-Sea, something was filmed that logic refuses to accept. A bird was frozen in the air, literally. It did not flap its wings, did not fall, did not move. It just hung in one spot. You can see power lines nearby, but there is no obvious wire in the video that the bird could have gotten caught on. No matter what angle people filmed from, it was hard to find an explanation. Yes, sometimes strong wind can create the illusion of hovering, but in this case, it feels as if the bird got stuck somewhere between worlds. If you still doubt that we live in a simulation, this fragment will just add fuel to the fire. In the video, someone is filming a landscape that looks as if the person has reached the edge of the set. It is as if the world simply ends in a straight line, just like in the movie The Truman Show, where the real world was actually a giant studio. No one knows the exact location of the filming, who the cameraman is, or who uploaded it. That only heightens suspicion and gives more room for imagination. What if someone really stumbled upon the edge of the map? A video appeared online in which a section of ground suddenly begins to rise up by about 3 meters. The soil seems to breathe and pushes up a slab of earth, lifting it above the surrounding surface. People panic. Is this a sign of the apocalypse? At first, theories were put forward about tectonic shifts or the accumulation of methane under the ground. But geologists dismissed these explanations. And in the end, to this day, nobody really understands what exactly happened. Clouds, as we know, always move. Except this one. In 2023, over Sydney, Australia, a dark, smoky cloud was filmed just hanging in one place. It did not shift even a centimeter, though the sky around it was moving. It looked strange, uneven, almost drawn on. There is still no official explanation. One of the theories links such phenomena to geoengineering, large-scale technological processes in the atmosphere. In a quiet coastal town in Tottori Prefecture, Japan, residents witnessed a sight that many at first took for an alien invasion. Over the sea, vertical pillars of light appeared in the sky like heavenly spotlights. People filmed it on their phones, posted it online, and built theories about spaceships. But the explanation turned out to be much simpler. These were fishing boats illuminating the sea with powerful lamps. The light was reflecting in the atmosphere and creating the effect of heavenly columns. Some people had seen this phenomenon 3 or 4 times over 10 years, but for many it was their first such show. An ordinary, natural, and man-made phenomenon that looks absolutely fantastic. In one South Asian country, a mysterious video was filmed in a cave. At first, you can only see a ball of light, but as the image stabilizes, the light begins to gather into the shape of a human. Little by little, the outline of a face, eyes, and a mouth appears. Voices of people are heard around, chanting a mantra, and apparently worshiping this glowing image as a deity. Did the camera capture a miracle, a heavenly being, or just a carefully prepared illusion? It is up to the viewer to decide. Next are frames that make it feel as if the very interface of the world is rebooting. In the video, posted by a user on social media, you can see a sky that literally changes color and themes in a fraction of a second. It is as if someone is flipping through presets in an editor. One shade, then another, then strange gradients. It looks as if the screen of reality itself glitches for a moment. Maybe it is a rare natural phenomenon or a play of light and camera. But one thing is obvious. There is no way you can just scroll past a sky like that. In the next video is something that seems completely out of context, but in terms of weirdness, fits perfectly into this collection. At a railway station, they are filming a strange object hovering above the ground, surrounded by flashes and sparks. Later, it was explained as ball lightning. Static electricity accumulated and formed a glowing ball that started to float freely near the tracks. The phenomenon is extremely rare, but quite real, and it looks as if a piece of a thunderstorm had broken off from the sky. Who needs an alarm system and cameras when you have a little human-like creature living in your yard? Vietnam. The mistress of a house checks the doors in the evening and suddenly notices out of the corner of her eye that something flashed across the yard. She walks closer, sees a strange figure, and in panic runs back into the house. The creature tries to hide behind the door. This crow definitely skips leg day, but its upper body is pumped to perfection. In a Japanese shopping mall, people noticed a bird that looked way too buff. Instead of sitting on its legs, the crow seemed to be leaning on its wings, showing off a broad chest and a strong torso. The clip instantly went viral, and the crow was nicknamed Gorilla Crow. Honestly, the name fits it perfectly. In the next video, it seems like a person accidentally walked into a parallel world. At first, we see an ordinary reflection in a shop window. Houses, a street, trees, everything as usual. But when the person with the camera takes a step forward, it feels like they literally enter this reflection. The scene around them changes. Everything flips, like in a mirror world. The houses and trees look as if you are viewing them from an alternate reality. It might be a filming trick, properties of the glass, or editing, but it looks as if someone briefly showed us a second version of the world. A tourist in Taiwan filmed a video that is both mesmerizing and frightening. At first, it seems that he is walking on some artificial floor or some kind of inflatable surface. But this is not an amusement attraction. This is real ground under his feet. The surface of the soil moves in waves, as if something alive is underneath it. Later, it turned out that millions, or maybe even billions, of centipedes were crawling under the ground. The sight is hypnotic, but you have to admit, pretty disgusting. Strange things are happening all over the world, but some of them break even the toughest minds. In one video shot at sunset, a person noticed a flash in the sky that repeated again and again. The object was surrounded by dark smoke and moved as if it were a giant jellyfish swimming through the air. What it was? A ship, an atmospheric phenomenon, a drone, an experiment, or something living? Nobody ever really figured out. But the video made many people think once again about how little we actually know about our own sky. Next come two different cases that are as similar as two drops of rain. In both videos, people watch in amazement as rain falls, only in one single spot. In one case, water pours exactly on one car, and around it, everything is dry. In the other, a narrow column of rain hits just one specific area, and the neighboring zones stay untouched. Everything else is clean. The asphalt is dry, and in one spot it is as if someone turned on a shower. It looks as if nature itself glitched and got the coordinates wrong. Who needs a hammock when you have a sloth mom? In the video, there is a scene that is touching and strange at the same time. A mother sloth and her baby are sleeping, hanging in a very uncomfortable-looking position. It seems that you could last a couple of minutes like that at most. But sloths do not care. They have special tendons in their paws and feet that kind of lock in place and allow them to hang upside down for as long as they want without getting tired. Yes, these animals can literally sleep hanging in the air, and they look as if they have perfect abs and superpowers against gravity. Now, to the United Kingdom, to a shore where a fisherman noticed a strange light in the water several years ago. At first it seemed like a normal reflection or some kind of equipment, but later it became clear that this was a glowing sea creature that was soon seen again in those waters. A few days later, news broke. A boat in that area had capsized under mysterious circumstances, and the person who had been on board was never found. It was not the glow of plankton. Plankton usually glows blue. This light looked different, almost alien. And the fact that someone's death is connected with it makes the story even darker. If you see something like that in the water, you had better paddle away. What you are picturing right now is not an ordinary river. In 2015, after heavy rain and hail in Jordan, a river of frozen water and ice mixed with sand flowed through the desert. Blocks of ice in the dense flow looked unreal, as if white-gray icy lava was flowing through the desert. The sight was mesmerizing, but the consequences were serious. Destruction, damaged roads and vehicles, and traces of the disaster that took a long time to eliminate. Has AI finally decided to make the first strike? Or is this just a glitch in the system? In China, in the city of Zhengzhou, during a light show above a shopping mall, hundreds of drones were launched into the sky. They lined up beautifully and even formed the name of the shopping center in the sky. Everything was going perfectly, until some of the drones suddenly went dark and began to fall down. The drones crashed into cars, buildings, and fell right onto a street full of people. Panic broke out. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but the spectacle looked as if an entire army of iron insects had suddenly refused to obey commands. Tonight, a strange blue light was seen in the sky. That is roughly how dozens of messages from people in Spain and Portugal looked. A lot of videos appeared online. A huge meteor crosses the dark sky, leaving a bright glowing trail behind it. People filmed it on their phones and posted it on social media. Many wrote that something like this happens only once in a lifetime. Here's another fragment that is hard to believe at first glance. In the video, a woman is carrying in her arms a live lion, a real, roaring, struggling lion. The animal starts behaving more and more aggressively, roaring and jerking around. And at some point, the woman gives up and puts him down on the ground. Who she is, where this lion came from, and whether he is her pet, nobody knows. But the scene of a person casually lugging a large predator in their arms looks absolutely unreal. Have you ever heard of a phenomenon called a fire whirl or fire tornado? That is exactly what we see in the first clip. A man lights a fire on a cold winter day, and suddenly the flame begins to spiral. The wind picks up the hot air, forming a rotating column of sparks, smoke, and tongues of flame. This phenomenon arises when intense heating and air movement create a vortex that grabs the fire and turns it into a mini tornado. It looks impressive, but it is extremely dangerous. Such a whirl can instantly spread fire over a huge area. What do you think about today's videos? Write all your thoughts in the comments. And if you like this and want to see the next part, something similar, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and right now, go watch the previous incredible episodes on our channel on